things get rough.
Oh, wow.
So Chris, I was going to show you, we have on campus, on Microsoft campus, a farm scenario set up where they have sensors, and it's as if we had farm links to monitor pieces of a farm. It's an agriculture thing over by building 43. I took pictures of it for you, and I just haven't sent them to you yet because your cell phone doesn't get reception, and I haven't done it through Teams. But anyway, hi everyone. Thanks for coming to the March 22nd DASH meeting. What I'm showing on my screen is what we talked about last week, and we talked about the second half of Alibaba's submission, and they're going to go back and think about that some more, and talking about, you know, becoming E&I aligned and maybe unifying the flow table. And we also had a behavioral model meeting last week, which was good. And Prince covered the inbound part of Service Tunnel Private Link, not the BMV2 part, but he covered the documentation that he had submitted. That was awesome. And so that's what we did last week. And this week I saw a few PRs coming through, just some automatic notifications about someone named Petasar had made updates to this cluster tag 1. And then we had an issue with 246 where we were having some sort of status issue, and 296 we could take a look at. And then here on the side of the screen, these are all the PRs. So I was wondering, did anyone have one in particular we wanted to start with today? Prince or anyone?
I think there's a PR that Vincent submitted. It's just kind of a little bit of a,
Here, the minor fixes.
yeah, and it's been reviewed by the two people. He found some minor issues in some test cases, and both Anton and BJ said looks good to me. So I think we can merge these.
Okay.
Just some house cleaning.
Chris, is it Anton's PR that we discussed on Monday? Is it the same one?
No, this is
Is it a different one?
This is a PR that Vincent from Excite submitted.
Got it.
He's been playing with Site Challenger and found some test case minor issues. So
okay, and you are already reviewing the Anton's PR, right? That you already mentioned.
Yeah.
That you're reviewing. Okay.
Yeah, I think that one was. Let me see which one that was. Anton's is the older one, 3 something, wasn't it? 320. I'm not sure which one that was.
Sorry, something's wrong with my mouse here. Anton's is.
It is 300 something. I'll find it and paste it in the chat.
And this one, add more Vnet-to-Vnet PTF cases.
Oh, 315.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There we go. This one?
Yeah, I just need to find out if Anton's finished. He was still working on something as of last check.
Okay. So, I'll find out and ask him to reach
if,
out to you if needed. Yeah.
Yeah, if he puts a comment or something saying, you know, everything's resolved, that would be good. I'm just not sure.
Sure.
The very. Yeah. Okay. And so I don't know if Petrosar attends this meeting. It was for this one, that Dash ACL by introducing cluster tag 336. So let me, what is wrong with my mouse? Okay. So this happened this week. Let me just get to the bottom. Added scale numbers of tags in above scale table. And then we had a push. So did any of the reviewers have a chance to look at this? Prince, have you seen this one? Or Marian, Mukesh?
Yeah, I reviewed that. We are now talking internally how we can use it. And after that, will be approved. I think I have, besides that, I have one more comment about API generation. I don't think we need to generate separate APIs for source tag and destination tag.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
Sorry, I don't know why my computer is so slow. Sorry about that. Okay, so this one still needs a little bit more. Yeah. Did anyone else have questions on this one? On the call? Okay, and then 246.
We can look at the PR 336 and get back.
Oh, 336.
No, just the one you just displayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take a look and get back.
Sure.
Okay, and then this 246, I know we had a brief comment on it last week. So we have some sort of status issue here, and is there anything any of us on the call can do about this one? Some check. Required statuses must pass before merging.
That's a new GitHub mystery.
Okay. Has anyone seen this before?
yeah, but this is CLA. It says expected CLA. Isn't that on the submitter side to be signed?
Submitter side.
Oh, that's hold on. Oh, that's for me. No, I definitely signed it. Okay, that's some other thing.
It almost seems like a GitHub bug, but I don't know. I've never seen this.
Yeah. Of course, I've never seen this, but
It's going. Yeah, it's possible the easiest way around this one, Marian, is just to resubmit as another PR.
Yeah, probably.
You know, just like whatever, some glitch in GitHub maybe, because it just popped out of the blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do a Git command amend and push force,
Oh,
Yeah,
you should go through those again because I know I've been through that yesterday.
oh yeah, I thought I saw that on yours too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to fix my CLA and turns out it's a author on the commit. I had to exactly match what my GitHub account was, but I was just doing Git commit amend, Git push force, rinse repeat until I got it right.
That's good.
And it doesn't seem to lose the approval, which is good on the PR.
thanks, Vincent.
It's it would be git command -- amend.
Something like that.
Yeah, no space. It's
Okay.
git commit -- amend. Space amend. Yeah, basically it just allows you to just push the commit again.
Yeah, I'll let him figure it out. It's good enough.
Yep.
Okay, I'm 80% there. Okay. Oh, cool. And then 296 outbound meter. I don't see 296. Okay. Was there any other PRs in this current list you guys wanted to talk about, or any Q&A to go over?
I do have something, Christina, that I think we need to input as a PR, and that is the confusion around the directionality of where the packets are coming from and how to identify the VNI. We've seen this confusion multiple times now. And so obviously
I logged an issue for it.
Pardon?
I logged an issue under issues.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
we can have a meeting like outside of this meeting if need be, just to go through it with maybe Prince and Guhan or somebody, but it's come up multiple times now, so obviously it's not clear, and And we do have one implementation that's kind of blocked by it a little bit right now. So it would be good if we just
Which
settle on the
implementation is
approach,
blocked?
and then we'll document it in the HLD or something. Because
Okay, can we go and do it since we have time? Which implementation is blocked?
I'm not going to tell you which
Oh,
implementation.
okay, all right.
There's
All
it's based on our discussion
okay.
with eSite last
Right,
week.
okay. So maybe we can take a look and does everyone know what we're talking about here?
I can start and give a quick summary.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Basically, one, if we look at the dash config, the way it is, the VM VNI, which is used for direction, is specified under the appliance, which is only one object. And then inside, you can have it multiple times the direction lookup, multiple entries. So that is one. Second, if I want to have a VXLan tunnel with two different tunnel endpoints under, let's call it VNI 3, and I want to have another tunnel with other tunnel endpoints also using VNI 3, that's totally acceptable by VXLan as a protocol. But in this case, because the direction is based on the VNI, I think the pipeline will gonna get confused what's happening there. So I was suggesting here to include also the IP and the MAC of the ENI, because those help to define uniquely the ENI, the MAC and IP, plus like a tunnel ID or a customer identifier or something else besides the VNI, because there is a third item where we can have different protocols. We can have GRE. GRE is present. I see it in many examples. So what has necessarily GRE to do is a VNI from VXLan. And then if we have IPsec as a tunneling or any other tunneling protocol, making a decision based on VNI may not be the right thing. Now, MAC and IP by themselves are not enough, because customer 1 can have 192.168.0.1 with a MAC, and customer 2, if he's lucky, can have also 192.168.0.1 for their VM with the same MAC. You are allowed to have two VMs with same IP, same MAC under different customers. Yeah. So since that's a possibility, we need on top of IP and MAC to add something, but that something shouldn't be the VNI. It should be either a tunnel ID or a customer ID or something more generic. And then the tunnel, if we choose tunnel ID can have a protocol type where it can be VXLan as one protocol, GRE at the other, IPsec, and so on. I'm not sure if there is a case where there is no tunnel from the VM to the DPU. If there is no tunnel, then maybe a customer ID could be associated, not a tunnel ID.
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I saw what is the direction we're talking, inbound or outbound direction? Is that what we're saying?
It's a decision, yeah. The decision how we decide if it's inbound and outbound.
Yeah. We use a MAC address, right? Right. So what is the...
No, we are using the VNI. That's
no, VNI plus a MAC address, I believe.
It doesn't seem that way from what I saw in the configs.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not in the documentation. That's the thing here.
No, that's in the P4, right? So what? Okay, yeah, we're using VNI. So what's the problem with using VNI?
Yeah, it's a dedicated VNI. So
yeah.
The
Okay.
VNI is unique to the VM, right? Within that VNet. So once it's outside of the VNet, then the VNI could be different pertinent to that VNet. But within the VNet, where the VM is originating the traffic, the VNI should uniquely identify that VM, and the appliance is in that VNet itself. So it should be completely unique.
But currently, I'm not able to configure more than one ENI with a different VNI on using the dash config. I can do it via site, but not via dash, because the appliance allows you to configure only one VM VNI, and that's an object that I configure only once, while inside I can do direction lookup table and I can put there, I don't know, 100 VNIs if I want, or whatever the scale is required.
No, but I think I don't know what is the use case what you're trying to do. Are you saying like there are multiple ENI configurations done and it's not working? Is that
Multiple ENIs, each with a different VNI.
each with? So these ENIs are belonging to a VNet, right?
Different VNets.
Okay, so still for the appliance, there is one VNI that can be used for outbound direction because that's a reserved VNI for that.
Yeah, but what if I want to have multiple?
Multiple what?
Multiple VNIs, and I don't want to use only one. Why am I being limited to only one and not duplicating them and doing all kind of stuff when the protocol VXLan allows me to? And then there's a whole discussion about GRE. If we based it on VNI, what are we doing with GRE?
So GRE also you have a you have like reserved VNIs for special handling. So I think this we are thinking about like you have a host machine and then you have all the rules.
Okay, no, but is this a test case or is this there's a use case for that? Right, so I think the dash is based on the real use cases here, right? So if you're talking about with the testing you want to do this, or is this there's some customer that have a valid use case here? I mean, yes, I think I suggest the customer to bring their use case here, and we can consider to enhance the the dash model here, right? So
I think what he was saying, though, go on, I want to make sure I'm right about this, is that in creating the hero test, for example, he can only create one ENI now, and he needs to be able to create 8 or 32 ENIs, and he can't.
Oh,
he
no,
can
that
create
no,
ENI, but
that
he
I
can't
don't
create
think
ENI
that's true.
using
No,
the
no,
same VNI.
no.
Wait, one ENI using the same VNI. I mean, I can create multiple using the same VNI, but
Yeah?
if I want to use different VNIs, I cannot. In dash
why do you
config,
want to?
I can do it in site config.
Yeah, why do you want to use that the multiple VNI, right? So I mean, is there a valid use case here other than
Why
testing?
not? VXLan protocol allows me to. I mean, this is what I'm saying. My comment is that Dash limits the functionality of VXLan. I understand this is a Dash use case, but I think we could make it a bit more generic to fit multiple use cases.
Where is that use case? I mean, is that use case for just for testing, or is that use case for some real scenario? There's a need to use multiple VNIs. I don't know why we are using multiple VNI, because it's clear that we are for all the outbound traffic we're just using one VNI, right? So to know whether this is outbound or inbound.
So it's not a real deployment scenario. It's just based on the VXLan protocol definition. My comment. I mean,
I could think of
I'm doing testing. I'm not deploying it. I'm not building a data center. I'm just doing testing. But I'm bringing this feedback from the VXLan point of view, and I'm saying this can be done using SCI, but not via the dash config.
Yeah. Even from the testing perspective, I think it would be. I guess it would be testing something that is not really being used in production, right? So why would we spend effort on testing those things?
But why all the traffic will go over one single VNI, even in production? What if you want to send it to two different tunnels, and each has a different VNI? I mean, that could still be a valid scenario even in production. And like I said, SCI allows it.
Well, it's not. I mean, of course, it's, but that's not. It's not. That's not current the dash scenario. Yeah.
No, but I think this special VNI is only for setting the direction for the outbound. Other than that, you have a unique VNI per VNet, and the VNI can belong to different VNets. So outbound direction is set by something like, the host is sending to this appliance just for setting that outbound path. So in order to communicate between any host and this appliance is where the special VNI is used. It doesn't mean that all ENIs have to use this one single VNI for communication.
Probably will need a. I'm still not convinced about, even in the real cases, that this is the right thing. We can probably take this offline, and I can draw some diagrams and explain it further, but.
Yeah, but VNI isn't even a tunnel identifier. VNI is the virtual network identifier. It doesn't. We don't need to have a unique VNI per endpoint. We have endpoint plus VNI that identify a tunnel, and that's what Dash is doing today. So why isn't that in accordance to the VXLan protocol?
So this VNI, the VM VNI, appears into the, and maybe this is about, appears into the VXLan VNI into the packet. So all the packets will be tagged with this VNI1.
All the packets towards VM.
Towards all the VMs.
Yeah, and why is it a problem if each VM has their own underlay IP?
Because if you have different customers could have same IP for their VMs.
No, I'm talking about the underlay IP. And it's not about the customer. VNI is basically part of the underlay. VNI is allocated by the data center. Customer doesn't see the VNI.
That is correct, but the IP and the MAC could be under the control of the customer. If I'm creating a VM in that I want to be part of my network and I start it in the data center, I can start a VM with 192.168.0.1 in my account, and you could start a VM with same IP in your account, 192.168.0.1, because that's how we have our company network, and that's an IP assigned, so everything goes fine.
And right, and then I think Mircea, in that case, those two VMs have its own unique or same IP, doesn't matter. But when the host is sending that to this appliance, it will send with this VNI in the outer header so that the appliance knows that it is coming from the VM. So to set the outbound, and then it based on the inner MAC, it will go to different ENIs. That's how the ENIs are identified.
Okay, let me send you some packet capture because maybe there is a bug.
So this agreement, I believe, is about MAC address and not the VNI, because according to Dash use case, MAC is not controlled by customer.
Yeah, MAC is also not controlled by customer. The inner
right.
MAC.
So we have MAC to identify a customer's VM.
I mean, Mac would be the same too, but okay, let me send you some packet captures. Prince, I'll send you some packet captures and some diagram because maybe there is a bug, and then I'm basing everything this on a bug. So all the packets, like I said, they are getting tagged with the same, the VM VNI, which was not quite right in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let's just do this to save the confusion. People have been confused on this before. This isn't the first time, so let's try to close it.
Okay, sounds good. So it's 9:28. Any other PRs or Q&A for today.
I have a non-urgent question, but
yeah,
if there's another, I was wondering, this may have been discussed before, but for the Dash ACLs, there are many various ways to do this in the data plane more efficiently than linear, walk through the list of ACL rules. But some of them have different scaling properties depending upon the details of what the typical configurations look like. I was wondering if there are any, what are the largest configurations that exist that are like this, and are they available to be shared perhaps under NDA or not?
You can't share customer data for one, but two, I think Michael's said multiple times, you cannot assume anything about them because they're not defined by us. So we only define the first rules table, and that's like the VNet table, but all the subsequent lookups, all of the 4 following tables, they're actually defined by the user, and we don't have any influence over them. It could look like whatever they want. And so saying there's a typical when the user can do whatever they want is very difficult. Like, it's not defined by us. We only define, that feature, and the scale that they have to live within. But other than that, they can do whatever they want. And there's no typical.
So in particular, I would assume, since you don't have control over them and you give them, it's probably common that, let's say there's n rules and a single packet can match any number of those rules, and it's the highest priority one that its action should win. It's atypical, or it's very common for a single packet to match, let's say, to match a prefix in multiple rules, is my guess.
Well, you wouldn't have the 5 tables if that wasn't, right?
Sure.
Because remember,
well, I mean, I'm saying even
rules
even
are not what makes them unique over other implementations is you get a continuation, right? So you do a lookup, you get a match, but then you're told to do another one and another one and another one and another one. So,
but even in the first set of rules, let's say there are 100 of them, a single packet might match the first 10th and 50th rule simultaneously, and it's the first one that should win.
That's right. The first one is whichever one it matches first is the match.
Yep.
But that could tell them to continue, and then you'll go to the next table. Yeah.
And since customers can configure them, trying to tell them not to do things like that would be impossible.
Yeah,
you don't block configurations that have a single packet matching multiple rules.
No.
Yep.
Not at all.
I didn't think so. Thanks.
Because the prefix might match, but you're not going to get an exact match multiple times.
Sure. No, this is just like I've had internal discussions at Intel, and the first this is like a first basic thing that changes the complexity of the problem enormously, whether there could be multiple matching rules or not. And my assumption was multiple rules matching is normal.
Yes, that's true.
Thanks.
So I saw in the chat here about the DPDK. Did we want to talk about that in behavioral model tomorrow, Andy?
I might miss tomorrow's meeting, but I think I suspect, Chris, you're probably up to date with all that stuff I've chatted today and can repeat tomorrow if I miss tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we can just cursorily, cover it here. It looked like Andy's run into some P4 DPDK compiler backend issues, which filed internally, and people are working on it. So, hope springs eternal that they'll resolve that and we can move forward, right?
Yeah. And the issue, I know the issue is not unique to Dash because another customer has hit a similar thing, so that has raised the priority of somebody in Intel fixing it. And another aspect, another update is I have successfully taken smaller P4 programs that do the add-on miss feature and successfully run them on the DPDK software switch that didn't hit this bug. And so I've gotten further than that with other non-Dash programs. So this is, we shouldn't immediately hit another bug the next second once this bug has been fixed, but yeah, there'll be Dash there'll be other DPDK issues I'm sure we'll hit after this.
Sure, sure. Cool.
I think most of the pipeline requirements for Dash is more generic, and the different tables that we have can be accommodated in those table types, also in DPDK. So I'm hoping that it will not be too many issues that we'll run into. This construct of add-on mess for sure is new, and the Dash add-on mess is much more complex than the simplest version that we had upstream long time ago into VXLan. Yeah, maybe there are bugs there, but I'm hoping there are not too many issues in that.
I'm sure we'll find scale issues at some point when we start throwing huge configs at it, but that's tomorrow's problem.
But they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. That'll be a good problem to have.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Once we get it functionally correct, it'll be fun to stretch the boundaries.
Mhm.
I know some people who are good at that.
Yep. If you work at a test organization, you better.
Right. Right.
Our motto: we break it, you fix it.
There you go. You pay us to help you break it.
Right. So that's what I had for today's agenda, unless I'll just do a little round robin. Sonic team, did you have anything you wanted to put forward or talk about for next week? Prince Gohan? Nope. Need to wait my 7 seconds. Okay, and then Gerald, did you have anything to put forward for next week, or anything you wanted us to think about or talk about?
No, not right now.
Okay, all right. And then rest of the community guys. Okay. So we have Mircea who's gonna send in some packet captures and some diagrams, and that sounds good. I'll go ahead and
if
oh,
we
go ahead.
can get the write-up from Mircea in the chat, we could browse through that as well.
In the chat or in the issue? Maybe to put it in the issue?
Yeah,
I'll put the diagrams in the issue because those are generic. The packet captures, I'm just gonna send them to Prince because they may contain some sensitive data. So diagrams, I'll put them in the issue. Packet capture, I'll just send them to Prince.
Sounds good. Okay, so I'll go ahead and stop the recording then and give you about 20 minutes back, if that's okay. And you can always email me if there's anything offline that you need or want to talk about, and I can see you next week.
Thanks, Christina.
Yeah, thanks everybody.